Self-care is not selfish. Self-care, your self-care, is not selfish. I work with a lot of doctors, a lot of people who are very passionate about their work. They want to help, they want to make a difference. And I know that when they don't care for themselves, they can't help anyone else. And I was one of them too. So I nearly burnt out in my work as a doctor, but I listened to myself and I pulled back. So the reason you have to care for yourself and self-care is not selfish is that if you're not functioning properly, you can't really help anyone else. What's worse is that when you're not functioning properly, you don't even know that you're not really helping. And if someone says that they don't disagree with what you're doing or they don't like what you're doing, you're going to take it personally and it's going to create a lot of drama. This may remind you of things that happen maybe at work or at home, and it can be prevented. So think about when you're on the plane and they tell you to put your oxygen mask on first. The reason for that is that, as you may know, is that at high altitude, you can only have a few seconds before you become hypoxic, you don't have enough oxygen and you faint and you lose your orientation if you don't faint. So even if you're still conscious, you're not making good decisions. And so if you think that putting the mask on your child, for example, first is the best way, it may not be the case. So putting your mask on first increases the likelihood that you can help your child and yourself, whereas the other way around has potentially disastrous consequences. And I think it's a great metaphor for what happens to us when we're kind of overgiving. Especially if you're an overgiver, it's just your natural habitual tendency. Or if you're a people pleaser, you're going to put people first and sacrifice your own health and well-being. And it may work for the short term, it may work for once or twice, but if you keep doing this, even though your body is telling you that it's tired, your mind is telling you that it's tired, but you keep going out of habit, the habit of overgiving and people pleasing, it's not going to be a good outcome. It's not going to bring what you really want, which is more happiness, more joy, and happier people around you, right? So I want to share with you a little tool that's called HALT. And I think it's very helpful. I've tried it myself. Other people have tried it. It's very simple, but simplicity is often what we need when we're sort of going a little bit too fast and need to slow down. So before you ignore signals from your body or your mind saying you need to slow down, and start to make decisions, further decisions, keep doing what you're doing, keep helping, keep going to the meetings, keep helping so-and-so at your own expense. Check this first. Do this little checklist. Maybe do it daily if you're in a period where you're very tired or you're going a bit too fast. Check in with yourself, maybe several times a day if you can. So HALT, H-A-L-T. Are you hungry? Are you angry? Are you lonely? Or are you tired? Because if you're in any of these states, your brain is not going to function properly. You're going to switch off the most helpful part of your brain, which is the prefrontal cortex, that can think logically and rationally and has empathy. And you're going to be in your more primitive brain, the mammalian brain, and you're going to be running on high emotion. And that impairs your rational judgment. So it's very important. It's not just about feeling good. It's about functioning well so you can achieve what you want. So hungry, you know what to do when you're hungry. Go and get some food and get some nourishing food. And it's not just the act of nourishing your body, you're nourishing yourself on a deep level because you're taking time out. You're sending yourself a signal that you care about yourself. You're sending a signal to yourself that it's safe. You're connecting with yourself, which gives you a sense of connection, which is often what we're trying to create when we're over-helping and over-giving and people-pleasing. So if you're hungry, go and nourish yourself. Angry. Don't make decisions. Try not to say anything when you're in the heat of anger. Notice that you're angry and take time out. You may need to put a boundary and say to someone, look, I can't talk right now, let's talk later. But don't make big decisions. Don't say anything rash, because you can cause a lot of damage that will then require repair. So if you're angry, notice, take time out, do what you need to do to give yourself a break and calm down. Are you lonely? Are you feeling lonely? Before you reach out for the usual distraction, for some sugary food, chocolate, drink, call someone that you know you shouldn't call, notice that you're lonely and try and just be with it for a few moments. It's okay to feel lonely. It's okay to feel bad, sad, or angry. It's okay to have those feelings. You're not going to die from them, which is what part of us feels. And so we try to distract ourselves from them. If you're lonely, just feel it and tell yourself it's okay. You're not going to be lonely forever. And finally, if you're tired, get some rest. I'm not going to give you instructions on what to do when you're tired, but having a nap can work wonders. If you have 5-10 minutes, just have a power nap, do that. Try and get proper sleep. Try and get good quality sleep. And try and rest mentally as well. Try and switch off from the news, from conversations, from constant interactions, from social media. That is also tiring. It creates a mental load that's constantly churning and that starts to disconnect your higher functions. So hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. Check in with yourself regularly, especially over this period when it's very busy, to make sure that you're taking care of yourself so you can then be effective if you're taking care of others. And you know, at this most extreme, if your job is highly demanding in that way, if you burn out and you can't do your job anymore, imagine how many people are going to be affected by that, by your absence. So think of life as more of a marathon than a sprint, or as one sprint after another, where you burn out, crash, and then start sprinting again. You're going to be around for a few years. I mean, nobody knows how long we're going to be around for, but life expectancy is quite long these days compared to what it was just 100 years ago. So take care of yourself. Remember that the more you take care of yourself, the better you can take care of other people. Self-care is not a crime. Self-care is a responsibility to yourself and to others. I hope that's helpful. Please leave any comments if you wish. Subscribe to Wise Wednesdays, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.